all respectable dignitaries and dear friends. First of all, I am giving my special thanks to Shashi Tharoor ji for giving me opportunity. It gives me great pleasure to be present virtually for the inaugural address at the 5th edition of the Roundtable Consultation 2022 on the theme India's Air Pollution. This is a very important subject which is touching to my heart. This annual gathering of elected representatives, air quality experts, civil society stakeholders, and industry leaders is a promising step towards developing solutions for the challenge of India's poor air quality crisis. We strongly believe that societies should be livable, workable, and sustainable for all, with an important focus on ethics, ecology, and the environment. While observing the air quality crisis in India, we come across some really terrifying numbers. The overall benefits of increased urbanization and industrialization have come to us with a cost of an exponential rise in air pollution. Today, air pollution accounts for around 1.2 million deaths annually. While this is an alarming challenge for a majority of developing countries across the world, and the air quality in major cities has left nearly more than 1 billion people to die slow deaths with a deteriorating health status. There have been enough reports and academic exercises to highlight the effect of the air quality on the lives of the citizens and its overall impact of the economy. But the question we need to ask ourselves is that are our efforts consistent enough, and have we created enough incentives for all stakeholders to consistently act against air pollution? We need to adopt a dual approach to consistently act against air pollution. One is to create a policy ecosystem where all stakeholders up to the municipal levels have enough incentives to adopt best practices against rising air pollution levels. Second is to constantly provide a positive push for change in lifestyles of citizens, where day-to-day choices like the type of transport and fuels are chosen, keeping in mind the benefits toward the environment. And I feel that we do not want economic or infrastructural growth at the cost of polluting the air and environment, endanger the health of our citizens. I'm happy to repeat the commitment made by our Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, at the recently held COP26 conference in Glasgow to make India a carbon neutral country by 2070. There are 153 cities in India where the Central Pollution Control Board undertakes 24-hourly ambient air quality monitoring. Out of these 153 cities, 43 cities have satisfactory air quality index. 76 cities are having moderate AQI, and 34 cities have poor to severe AQI. Delhi, our national capital, has constantly been under poor air quality. As per a recent study, it has been observed that a 25% rise in the level of air pollution resulted in a 33% reduction in commercial and tourism activities in Delhi. This study also revealed that there was a reduction in number of visitors and families since they avoided going to public and shopping places. This is nothing less than a situation of public health emergency. India is the third largest user of transport automobiles in the world, and transport is a sector where there is maximum scope for making an impact to reduce air pollution by minimizing vehicular emissions, and I am also responsible for that. So that is the reason that I am very much concerned about it. And that's why we are taking a lot of decisions and policy decisions related with this problem. This is also an area where people can bring a change in their lifestyles and by the choices of mobility in their day-to-day lives. The transportation sector in India is responsible for 14% of the country's energy-related carbon dioxide emissions, with road transport accounting for 90% of the sector's final energy consumption. With rapid urbanization, growth in business activities, there is a tremendous growth in the number and frequency of different transport modes and their movements. Unfortunately, 70% of the energy requirement of the Indian transport sector is fulfilled through imported fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, and other petroleum-based products. India consumes about 30% of the world's fossil fuel needs. We spend rupees 8 lakh crore on their imports, which accounts for 3% of the nation's total GDP. Considering the growth of the transport sector, this number is soon expected to increase to rupees 15 lakh crore in the next 5 years. Diesel is very hazardous fuel for the environment and human health. It emits about 71 kilograms of CO2 per gigajoule, which is the highest among all available fuel types. Around 60% of the health burden from transport comes from on-road diesel vehicles. There is an immediate need to decarbonize the transport sector and make it sustainable from the economy, ecology, and environmental point of view. The government is clearly and gradually stepping ahead on the policy of adopting import substitute, cost-effective, pollution-free, and indigenous fuel for the transport sector. We are promoting the use of clean and green alternative fuels such as bioethanol, methanol, biodiesel, bio-CNG, LNG, SCNG, electricity, and hydrogen fuel cell as a transport fuels. We had already taken a bold jump from BS4 to BS6, directly by skipping BS5 norms, which was the first of its kind policy transition across the world. The government is firm on complying with the Corporate Average Fuel Economy (CAF) regulation, where automakers are required to gradually reduce average CO2 emissions levels and work towards lightweighting their vehicles. Metro systems are already expanding at a rapid pace in the both large and small cities. Never cost effective because metro designs such as the Metro Light and New Metro will lead to further uptake in newer cities. Emissions amounting to as much as 68,000 tons of carbon dioxide are expected to be reduced by the end of 2022 by using the metro train as a mode of transport. The multi-layer transportation model is already developed in my constituency Nagpur and is being currently developed in the cities like Chennai and Pune, where there would be a 3-level of multi-lane roads and mass rapid transit on the highest level. Models like this would greatly boost public transport and reduce congestion and pollution at the same time. We are committed to having 100% electrification of Indian railways by 2030. Electric mobility is gaining a tremendous momentum in the country. It will be an important tool to develop pollution-free transport. We do not require any artificial push for EVs in India. The per kilometer cost is so low that consumers will automatically shift towards EVs in a phased manner. The average operating cost of the EV is only rupees 1 per 1 kilometer, whereas for diesel it is as rupees 8 rupees per kilometer and petrol for it is 10 rupees per kilometer. There is a huge domestic demand for small electric vehicles like e-two-wheelers, e-autos, e-rickshaws, e-carts, e-bikes, and e-bicycles. E-commerce business deliveries, taxis, small carts, and goods vehicle, forest vehicles are largely shifting to electric vehicles. Now, electric trucks are also available in the market. The startup ecosystem for EVs is doing a tremendous job in terms of challenging traditional automakers by producing low-cost and localized EVs with the same performance. This competition will further reduce the overall cost of ownership without compromising the quality. To make EVs carbon neutral in the complete life cycle, our focus is on the generation of clean electricity using renewable energy sources such as solar, tidal, wind, and biomass. The solar-based electricity generation cost is very cheap, which comes less than 2 rupees per unit. It also ensures a zero carbon emission cycle. Today, 38% of the electricity is generated from solar energy, which is now targeting for 60% integration. We are promoting domestic EV charging through a rooftop solar system. And I'm personally pushing for research on alternative battery chemistries, such as sodium ion, zinc ion batteries, and which would further reduce the cost of EVs in India. Mass production of electric vehicles, indigenous battery technology, and localization of EV parts will lead to the same capital cost in comparison to petrol and diesel versions today due to economics of scale. As stated by the finance minister in the budget, the government is working on the battery swapping policy and framing uniform standards for EV batteries. The battery swapping technology would make electric vehicles more adaptable in personal, public, and commercial transport. We intend to shift public transport modes on electricity. My ministry is also developing ropeway, cable car, and funicular rail system in the hilly region for providing last mile connectivity. We intend to operate these modes on electricity generated from hydropower and wind energy. I have now also approved standards for road train buses, multiple coaches like in USA and Australia in new Motor Vehicle Act. The operation of road train buses will help to reduce vehicular emissions and significantly due to old unfit state transport buses. Dr. Shashi Tharoor is here. I would suggest him that the Kerala has 1,800 kilometer long highway network, which is under severe traffic stress due to an uneven land, frequent flood situations, and higher forest cover and ecologically fragile Western Ghats. Kerala is known for the tourism, which needs efficient and affordable connectivity across the state for visitors. On the line of Nagpur city, broad gauge metro rail system can be an economically viable solution to improve the connectivity and decongest the traffic on the roads in Kerala. In Kerala, there is a one private car per 10 persons and 441 vehicles per 1,000 people. Total vehicle registered in the state grow at average annual rate of 10.6%, which is a very high rate. And considering the available space, annually 2 lakh cars are being added on the road, and this is leading to heavy traffic density due to limited available terrain and road length, and this is also a major cause for vehicular pollution. In such a situation, EVs will significantly reduce pollution, and compared to that from combustion engine vehicles. In addition, if we integrate rail connectivity with the eco-friendly natural waterways and good traffic shifted to navigable system along metro rail lines, such an integrated approach would be further reduce vehicular traffic by 30 to 40% and sink down air pollution significantly. I am also giving a special push for ethanol as a transport fuel. The biggest benefit is that it is a clean fuel with very low greenhouse gas emissions. A special advantage with ethanol is that the additional income obtained from by substituting the import of petroleum can be directly diverted towards the farmers and the rural economy. We have allowed the production of ethanol from surplus and damaged food grains such as rice, corn, in addition to sugarcane juice, BAV, and CAV molasses. This will give an additional income to our farmers and boost the rural economy. We are taking inspiration from countries like Brazil, which have been using ethanol in their transport industry for more than 60 years. They have a compulsory blend of 27% of ethanol in petrol, which is highly commendable. And the use of ethanol blended petrol decreases emissions of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides by 40% to 50%. I also launched a two-wheeler bike which runs on 100% bioethanol. A large number of auto rickshaws can operate on bioethanol, that is the flex engine. The automobile industry is working with us and offer vehicle with flex engines and strong hybrid flex engines with electric into the Indian market. These vehicles will run on the either 100% petrol or 100% bioethanol, and we have already issued an advisory stating the benefits of the flex engines, and it will soon become a reality. Flex fuel technology is already available in Brazil, Canada, and the USA. And according to a recent study in Brazil, hybrid flex engines using 100% ethanol emit 77% less greenhouse gas emission as compared to Euro 6 compliant IC engines. Our Prime Minister has recently launched 300% ethanol pumps in Pune, and the government is promoting the setting up a dispensing units by providing entities. The efforts are going on for capacity expansion and the establishment of new distillation plants to fulfill the ethanol requirement across the country. The three major automobile companies, particularly the Suzuki, then Toyota and Hyundai, have already promised me that within 6 months, they are going to launch their all models with the flex engine with hybrid electricity. So that can be a game changer. And the bioethanol can also be a sustainable fuel for aviation purposes. It can provide 80% saving on greenhouse gas emissions and can be blended with conventional jet fuels without any modification. It has already been tested and approved by the Indian Air Force. The Brazilian Air Force has also used ethanol in their fighter jets. We can also use ethanol in generator sets instead of diesel. I have carried out a successful experiments which are giving an excellent efficiency at the lower price without any air pollution. There are more than 4 lakh telecom mobile towers across India, and they are powered by diesel generator sets. Ethanol is an excellent and cost-effective alternative to save air pollution from these generators. Friends, the green hydrogen is a zero carbon fuel and sustainable alternative to coal, oil, and gas-based energy. Green hydrogen is the fuel for the future. It is a fuel which has the potential to maintain an absolute zero carbon across its life cycle. 70% of green hydrogen production cost come from electricity cost. Hence, surplus electricity from renewable energy sources can enhance green hydrogen production. The economics is good. And hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles do not produce any tailpipe emissions and making them a clean transport fuel. Further, if hydrogen is produced using renewable source of energy, such as solar and wind, it will have a zero carbon footprint. Very soon in mid-March, I am going to launch a first of its kind pilot project of hydrogen powered car in India. We are allowing the use of SCNG, that is hydrogen blended with CNG, as an automotive fuel, which will help the transport sector to handle hydrogen. And we have performed successful pilot in Delhi for SCNG with 18% blending. Here we have observed about a 5% improvement in fuel economy and huge reduction in emission, such as a 70% reduction in carbon monoxide and a 15% reduction in total hydrocarbon. And these are very promising numbers. Further research is also underway to capture hydrogen from ethanol, biogas, and biomethane. We can also generate rooftop hydrogen using a combination of solar panels and windmill, and it would be cheaper and more convenient for domestic and community level application. A startup in Bangalore has recently exported its first batch of compact size electrolyzers manufactured in India. We need to focus more on improving electrolyzer economics to make green hydrogen more viable. The technology for hydrogen run train is successfully piloted in UK and Germany. The recently announced green hydrogen policy facilitates and offers incentives to manufacturers of green hydrogen and green ammonia in the country. Both battery-operated electric vehicle and fuel cell vehicle technologies are complementary to each other, and they are also set to overtake fossil-run automotive by 2050. The biogas industry has huge potential in India. It is a prominent renewable source of energy as it ensures that the protection of environment through biodegradable waste management in the country. As per a recent report, the biogas industry helped the scientific treatment of about 1,400 million tons of organic waste annually, which reduces the annual greenhouse gas emission of 275 million tons of carbon dioxide. We have surplus rice straw parallel available that can be converted into bio-CNG and bio-LNG. 5 tons of rice straw gives a 1 ton of bio-CNG. Further, it would help to reduce the air pollution in the North India region nearby Delhi due to the burning of parallel is a big problem. There is a huge potential in the generation of electricity from paddy straw, which causes air pollution on burning. Generally, 1 acre of paddy straw generates 2.5 metric tons of straw. We can generate 1 kilowatt hour electricity from 2 kg of straw, which cost about 6 rupees per unit. The use of bio-CNG as a vehicular fuel is also being encouraged in India. We have converted 400 city buses in Nagpur to run on bio-CNG. I have converted my own diesel tractor, the first tractor in India, into bio-CNG, where 1 lakh rupees saving per year, and it is very helpful for the farmer. The bio-CNG is a cheaper and less polluting substitute over diesel. And this is very important. The LNG as a fuel for long-term trucks and buses is economically viable. I have inaugurated India's first LNG dispensing unit in Nagpur. The cost of conversion of an old diesel truck to LNG is rupees 10 lakh, which can be recovered within 295 days with an average of 5 km per kg. I have recently inaugurated LNG trucks, which have a huge tank capacity and can go up to 1,400 kilometers in a single fill of the tank. This can transform the goods and cargo movement in the country with minimal pollution. The retrofitment of old and polluted diesel buses into CNG and LNG is an innovative alternative to cut down pollution from old buses without impacting financial health of the state transport undertakings. Methanol is another fuel of importance and is used for marine application, power generation, and the automotive sector is planned through the efforts of Niti Aayog. The dimethyl ether, DME, can be obtained directly from syngas, which are obtained primarily carbon dioxide produced from natural gas and low-grade coal. The DME is an excellent alternative for domestic cooking and heating applications. It can be easily blended into LPG up to 20%, which will make cooking gas cheaper and will reduce our imports. I am happy to mention that my constituency Nagpur is the first city in India where almost all biofuels are commercially tested and adopted in the transport system. Today, the city has witnessed 100% ethanol buses, bio-CNG, LCNG, LNG, biodiesel run vehicles, and autos on LPG. And we have formulated the vehicle scrapping policy to create an ecosystem for voluntary and environmental friendly phasing out of old unfit vehicles. Currently, there are about 1.25 crore unfit vehicles in the country. The scrapping will bring a 25 to 30% reduction in vehicular air pollutant. Apart from transport, integrated infrastructure can bring a great deal of reduction in air pollution across India. We are developing 22 greenfield expressways in the country, and it is estimated that these greenfield corridors will lead to an annual saving of 110 crore liters of vehicular fuel consumption. It will reduce carbon footprint significantly by reducing vehicular emissions as a result of decreased travel time. For example, the upcoming Delhi-Mumbai Expressway will reduce the travel time between Delhi and Mumbai from 24 hours to 12 hours. It will result in more than 32 crore liters of fuel saving and will reduce CO2 emission by 85 crore kilograms. As per a study, it is seen that the vehicular pollution on normal highways is more than 8 times as compared to driving on an expressway. Further, on congested highways, pollution level becomes more than 15 times compared to free flow conditions. We have already rectified 196 congestion points on national highways across India, and the movement of heavy commercial vehicles within the city limit is one of the reasons for congestion, higher fuel consumption, and air pollution. Our policy is to provide ring roads and bypass whenever feasible, which would reduce the pollution levels significantly. And Delhi is the example. The all traffic from the north going to the south now, the ring road of Delhi is great thing where we have reduced the air pollution in Delhi. But I convinced by all the things that the problem is very crucial. We have made sure to regularize cleaning of the national highway within city limits, which ensures reduction in PM 2.5 level. There will be a drastic reduction in pollution levels at the periphery of the cities due to this move. We have also issued advisories to cover open trucks causing material which would greatly help to reduce dust dispersion during its operation on roads. The road construction process also emits a lot of carbon emissions, which increases pollution levels in the country. Every kilometer of a concrete road can reduce the carbon dioxide emissions from vehicles by up to 3,000 tons over 30 years. We are promoting warm mix technology, where the temperature of road construction is reduced from 160 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, due to which carbon dioxide emissions are reduced to 33% and fuel consumption reduces to 40%. We are promoting the development of biomass-based biobinder for road construction application, and the use of this biobinder and lead to substituting a significant amount of crude oil-based bitumen. Currently, India imports approximately 58% of bitumen from meeting the country's demand for road construction. Using biomass-derived biobinder will decrease our national demand for imported bitumen and help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions up to 30%, since less amount of energy is required. The cement is the major component for construction, which contributes to 8% of all carbon dioxide emissions in the world. We are minimizing the use of cement and steel in the construction work and focusing on their sustainable replacements. We are promoting the use of fly ash, iron slag, waste plastic, used rubber, demolition waste, and recycled pavement materials in the highway construction work. Ministry has issued guideline for use of 8% waste plastic in the construction of bitumen road. The waste plastic is also permitted to be used in the construction of service roads. Precast technology is also one of the sustainable technology which helps to reduce the carbon footprints and ensure a dust and pollution environment at the construction site. We have brought electronic toll collection system on all national highways. As of today, we have a 97% penetration of FASTag in toll collection. This has in turn helped to save fuel and reduce emissions from the vehicles waiting at toll plazas. Studies from IITs say that on average, the emission rate in the FASTag lane is 1/4 of the cash lane. Also, time spent in the cash lane is 4 times that in the FASTag lane. Therefore, overall, we are successful in reducing the emissions by more than 16 times by adopting the FASTag system in the country. We are also working on the implementation of GPS-based toll collection systems, which will ensure seamless and efficient traffic movement across the highways without toll plazas. This will even further reduce fuel consumptions and associated carbon footprint. Under the Green Highway Mission, we are doing tree plantation on either side of National Highway on medians and on nearby open land parcels. The extensive greening of our national highways will significantly help in absorbing harmful carbon dioxide and enriching eminent oxygen levels. We are implementing tree transplantation technology to save the existing old trees during highway construction and expansion work. I'm just giving you the example. In the Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Yamunotri, that is Char Dham road, the Supreme Court has cleared and giving us the permission. But still after that, we have taken a decision that we will not cut any tree. We will make all transplantation of the tree. And for that reason, we are going to develop 1,000 tree plantation contractors in the country, because that is very important for ecology and environment. We are also encouraging the operation of construction equipment on clean and green fuels such as ethanol, LNG, bio-LNG, electric, and biodiesel. JCB has done a good job by converting its equipment into bio-CNG, and they have taken an initiative by launching backhoe loader, which operate on a mixture of CNG and diesel. They got good orders from Russia. So I'm always insisting as a transport minister and giving suggestion to the construction equipment manufacturers to use alternative fuel. Even they are now working on electricity, working on LNG, CNG, also working on bioethanol. Their research is going on that will reduce the pollution. Here we have observed a 20% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions, and our construction equipments manufacturers are also committed to the adoption of biodiesel as a fuel. The greenhouse gas emission of carbon dioxide for 100% biodiesel is 74% lower than those from petroleum-based diesel. With so many steps and interventions, greater coordination will be required between the state and the union governments to ensure adequate transfer of resources and knowledge. We also have a work towards increasing planning capacity of city authorities, and the announcement of the urban planning committee in the recent budget is a big step towards this. The private financing for green transport project will be essential. Banks and other financial institutions will need to scale up their efforts to finance green infrastructure, as well as make it easier for consumers to purchase newer technologies. By accelerating the push to green mobility and green infrastructure, we will have taken a major step towards solving the air pollution issue in India. With these words, I know that we are taking a lot of steps, but still the gravity of the problem is very high. We need cooperation, coordination from the stakeholders, from the expert people, from the institutions, and at the same time from the automobile manufacturers. We are making the law, but still we need to create awareness in the mind of the people as far as the air pollution is concerned. And Shashiji, I will request you. The air pollution is really important, but the water pollution is equally important. At the same time, the sound pollution is also a big concern. We need to work on the three important issues. And here I am very much cautious about it. And this is the time from my ministry, I got appointed to work with the water pollution in Ganga. And there is one success story in Mathura. By 80% MLD sludge of Mathura on hybrid annuity model, by giving 20 crore per year from Indian Oil, the project is just completed. And now that water is going to Indian Oil, and that is to be a very, very successful experiment. We need to find out some solution. I'm working on that, but still I don't have too much solution. That how we can convert waste into wealth, how we can convert CO2 into wealth. And well, the people will use it to convert the technology by which with CO2 we can make syngas. From CO2 we can make methanol. From CO2 we can make algae. From CO2 we can make biodiesel by making algae. And even CO2 we have to find out the way out to create value in the particularly the hazardous gases, and by which the conversion that is to be waste into wealth is most important thing, where our research and IIT institutes, engineering colleges, research organization, startup, their role is equally important. Once again, with these words, I giving thanks to Dr. Shashi Tharoor, AirQualityAsia and Observer Research Foundation for inviting me and providing me this opportunity to share my perspective on India's air pollution challenge. Your suggestion to my ministry is always welcome. You are the people who are dedicating work on this issue. Whatever your good suggestion to my ministry, because the one of the ministry which is responsible for air pollution is my ministry. I am very much guilty conscious about it, but still whatever the good suggestion from your side, I will take it and I will try to implement. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Namaskar.